Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Mold-tek Technologies Limited Q2FY25 conference call hosted by Antique Stock Broking. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on a touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Jainesh Karya. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sumit. Good evening all and welcome to the 2QFY25 earnings conference call of Mold-tek Technologies Limited. From the management, we have Mr. Lakshman Rao, CMD, along with his finance team. Without further ado, I now hand over the call to Mr. Rao for his opening remarks, post which we shall open the floor for Q&A. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jainesh. Thank you all for showing your interest and joining on the conference call today. I'm glad to inform you that Mold-tek Technologies Limited has given a decent set of numbers for the Q2. There are actually challenging times in terms of US elections that are happening, which generally leads to delayed decisions in terms of infrastructure projects, wherein Mold-tek is mostly involved. However, this Q2, we have done much better than the Q1. Sales are up by around 9.7%, but the profits have jumped by 54%, profit after tax, thanks to the cost controls and improved productivity and efficiency in general. That has brought down the overall employee costs also considerably. Compared to Q1, the employee costs have come down from 68% to 61% of the gross sales. So this is possible due to adoption of API and technology-assisted tools, which enable our people to automate some of the manual operations. So going forward, maybe Q3 also might be a little tepid because of elections at US. A lot of decisions were delayed. However, we foresee that once government is formed and infrastructure projects start clearing in US, we will be able to garner more and more orders starting from maybe next month onwards. So now this is a basic background. Another issue I want to inform you is we have added 3 business development managers with past experience in engineering services. 2 of them joined and another person is joining on 18th of this month. So thereby we are almost doubling our BD team, which will enable us to reach more and more clients and expand our product offerings, service offerings. This is the basic background. For further interaction, I would take the operator to go for question and answer session.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touch-tone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. I will remind anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touch-tone telephone now. The first question is from the line of Chirag Kacharia from Ashika Institutional Equities. Please go ahead.
I have a couple of questions. So, during the quarter, have you witnessed any change in the client behavior? I mean, the type of work they are asking a quarter back and in Q2 particularly, what change you observed? And from billing per employee point of view, what is our bill on hourly basis with our client? And on an average employee realization vis-a-vis what is the industry standard and where we see improvement over a period of time and how we going to improve that?
Per employee. So if you're talking about the per employee revenues and costs, per employee revenue costs have increased to $4,112. $4,112. And in the case of cost, it is around 3.26K. And in the case of mechanical engineering, the revenues are 4.45 per revenue employee, and the costs are 2.93.
And how are we going to improve it as we move ahead?
See, if you notice, the company's performance is completely based on how much utilization we'll be able to get in terms of work load. Because we cannot add experienced engineers when there is a surge in the work. At the same time, we cannot keep the people idle, which will impact our profitability. So this is always a game of balancing the bench and along with the work order flow. But as of now, the work order flow for last couple of months is slower, so which is going to impact maybe the Q3. But the slow flow, once it improves in the Q3, it will be delivered in the Q4. So it will be a kind of cyclic whenever there is a major issue like US elections or if any other issues that impact the major infrastructure projects. So as of now, due to the elections the last couple of months, the working flow is little slower. But however, in the Q2 we have done fairly well. We improved by 9.7% over Q1, and profits have jumped by 54% because of better utilization. And now going to Q3, probably it will be little tepid because of the slower flow in Q2, but it will ramp up once the decisions are taken and infra projects start moving. That is what the future outlook.
Thank you all the very much.
Thank you. Just a reminder, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on the touchtone telephone now. I will repeat, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on the touchtone telephone now. The next question is from the line of Kiran from Knightstone Capital Management. Please go ahead.
Hello. For MEs, are we dealing with OEMs directly?
Yeah, some of them are OEMs, majority of them are tier 1 suppliers to OEMs.
Okay. And
the automobile companies, they deal through only tier 1 suppliers.
Okay. And for the new wire harness and press tools, are we doing it just for EVs?
Just for?
EV.
European means.
Are we just doing it for EVs or combustion engine as well? Combustion vehicle as well?
Not UB and combustion. No, the press tools and harnesses are for any vehicle. The wiring harness can be there for buses, EV vehicles, or even for regular automobile. So wherever there is an opportunity, we do it. But those opportunities as of today are very small. Compared to our overall revenues, they are hardly 1-2%. In the area where we are now progressing slowly is SPMs, that is special purpose machines. There we have quite a few inquiries now. These are also small orders, $10,000, $20,000 worth. Our main contributions in mechanical still continues to be from poles and towers and BIW automobile.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on the touchtone telephone now. I would like to repeat, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on the telephone now. As there are no further questions, the next question is from the line of Harshit from Premji. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Few questions. So first, I think you mentioned in the press release that we have hired few sales people in order to focus on the client sourcing. But if you can give some more color, that is it on the mechanical front or is it on the civil engineering front? And how should they help in building up the revenue? Are they based out of what would be their KRAs and what can be expected out of it? And probably there is another question is that if you can help us with the employee base today in both civil and structural and the mechanical part, and what is the overall revenue utilization at this point of time at which we are operating?
Yeah, I'll do that. In the terms of BDMs, we are planning to recruit 4 of them, and 2 in mechanical and 2 in civil. 2 mechanical engineering BDMs have joined recently, about 2 weeks ago, and they already started getting some RFQs and client calls, wherein our people have started pitching for their projects. So another person is from civil. He's joining from 18th of this month, November. So he will be contributing towards civil projects, both structural, steel detailing and designing. And the 4th person is also a junior person. He already joined in the civil side. So effectively 2 mechanical BDMs and 2 civil BDMs have been taken. These guys have prior travel experience to USA and Europe. They have 10-year visa to travel to USA, and they have several trips they made and contacts they have established in US. So adding these people will certainly enhance our visibility and clientele, and hopefully that will start yielding in better workflow in a couple of months' time. So that is the first question. Employee strength as of today is about 880 people in civil. That includes almost 10% of admin and HR. So about 80 people, 800 people in civil, and about 225 in mechanical. So you can say 1,000.
25 in the proper non-admin work.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the engineering side. There will be close to 1,000 people. The rest are.
Got it. And sir, on the utilization
you
part,
wanted to know the utilization. Actually, 1,000 people, at least they should contribute around $24 million to the company. But currently, the
how much, sir? Sorry,
company is around 18.
Sorry, sir. Your voice was not clear. How much should they overall contribute?
They should at least taking it overall fully 19 million. So last year we did 19.4 million, and this year for the first half we have done about 9.81 million. So going at this rate, probably we'll be doing around 19 to 20 million dollars top line. Taking at least $25,000 to $30,000, the capacity wise, it is possible to do up to 30 million. So probably we'll be doing around 19 to 20 million, means capacity utilization is in the range of around 65%.
65.
Scope for improving the utilization. That again depends upon the workflow.
Got it.
The bench strength. Yeah.
Got it. And sir, if I may ask one more question, that with respect to the workflow itself, maybe I'll just split it into 2. When we look at the civil business today, now clearly I think this quarter maybe election results are out, so we still have a good amount of quarter left. And just referring to that comment when you refer to Q3 being slightly weak, but I just want to understand that for us, what would be the order book scenario, and with the election thing going about, how can that book start to grow faster? Because I think mechanical, I understand that it's a new business, so there might be pluses and minuses, there might be some volatility in the quarters, but civil side is more is much more dated, and we have that experience on that. And maybe the acquisition part itself, that if you can throw some light on where we are in terms of any possibilities, how has been your experience in terms of vouching for few of the possible synergetic acquisition?
Yeah, work on hand is was 2.9 million in the end of June, is now around 2.4 million. So there's a dip of about 20% in the civil. In the mechanical, it is almost half. It was 0.6 million at the beginning of June. End of September, it is end of June, and now it is 0.25 million. So it's certainly a little slower pace of work coming in the last 2-3 months. But it may not be the case of such a reduction in the sales, but we foresee that there could be a dip in the sales in Q3 compared to Q2. However, as we are now quoting for some products of bigger size, things will only open up in by end of this month, November. How do we end up in the invoicing? Coming to your second question about acquisitions, yes, there are 2-3 active acquisitions we are discussing. We are now even open to considering architectural services acquisition. In that direction also, one of the deals our CEO in USA is currently negotiating. And we are looking for a proper synergy because we are not in a hurry to just make an acquisition without a proper
Fair point.
thought process. So with that in mind, we are now looking at one architectural firm positively, and through them structural acquisition also if we make, then our service offerings will be right from architecture to detailing. So whatever it is, actively we are on the lookout. At least one or two are being negotiated.
Okay. Got it. Done, sir. I think mostly from my side. Thanks a lot for your time and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harshit. The next question is from the line of Chirag from Ashika Institutional Equities. Please go ahead.
Sir, you mentioned that we looking for acquisition on architectural side. Is it similar to like designing related work? Is that understanding correct?
Yeah, designing and architecture go hand in glove because whenever a building is conceived or a structure is conceived, architect comes in with the features and utility point of view. Structural engineer comes out with the safety and the structural strength parameter side. So whenever a general contractor approaches to go for a new building, let it be residential, commercial, or airports or infrastructural projects, there will be always an architect and a structural engineer. Together they conceive the project shape and safety. While the structural engineer is more concerned about the safety and loads and member sizes, all that. Architecture is more of utility, outlook, aesthetics. Those functions are taken care by architect. Once these two guys complete their drawings and designs, then the fabricator or erector come into picture, for whom the detailing work is required. So we are at the third stage of engineering for civil projects. By entering into architecture and structural, we will almost come into the first rung of service offering.
Okay. And sir, what valuation are we ready to pay to acquire the mentioned acquisitions which are into pipeline?
No, we are open from $5 to $15 million. That will be some size which we can adopt and absorb. So we are open as low as $5 million to as high as about $15 million size.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. I would like to repeat, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Harshit from Premji. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, one more thing. I was just wondering that if we have, say, for example, latent capacity in India in the interim periods, then does it make sense to also look at the steel detailing work or opportunities that come up in India? Maybe say partnerships with people like APL, Apollo, etc., who are the largest fabricators here. I'm just trying to understand that is there a way to better utilize the resources for those lumpy periods? If you can give some of your views, because in India more and more airports, etc., which we see gradually will need steel detailing as a work.
Yeah, there are opportunities here and there, but if we get stuck with those projects, our capacities will be minimum, not available when there are bigger opportunities abroad, especially from USA where the pricing is much better. So for a small period of lull, we cannot take and get stuck with those Indian projects where the pricing is not even half of what we get from USA. So that is why we are keeping away from any Indian opportunities as of now.
Okay. You can comment on the talent availability right now, the scenario, that are the civil engineering availability adequate? And maybe if I can link it to that question, that if we see growth opportunities in India and if talent availability is not a problem, then with our brand, can that be a new vertical or new segment itself? It might not be as high margin as our US business, but that will be an incremental if we don't have a supply crunch in general.
No, actually, developing the civil engineers to steel detailing itself is a challenge because none of the universities provide any structural steel detailing concepts in civil engineering as of today. Actually, now we are taking through NGOs and help of software suppliers our own initiative to introduce and provide software learning management system LMS, and we are providing the support to the at least 10 to 20 engineering colleges in and around Hyderabad, wherein through the help of software vendors, we are giving some free licenses to these colleges and making sure that they have been taught those software in their final year or final semesters, so that the boys who come out of the college already have some knowledge of the relevant 3D software. In India, it is all AutoCAD is the max what a civil engineer learns, and maybe a little bit of 3D software. But Tekla and SDS are the high range software that is used in steel detailing. So none of the engineers when they pass out have any experience with this steel detailing. That is unfortunately the state of our affairs. So most of the engineers we absorb, they are all fresh trainees for almost 6 to 9 months. They go through training before they become productive.
Okay. Got it, sir. And on the acquisition part, sir, I remember that earlier we had plans to look for in the fields of connection design, etc. If it's there, because those again would be more related to steel detailing. But I'm just wondering that now I think the good part is that we have opened up AEC also as an area where we can enter. So just want to understand that can these both be accommodated, or you plan to right now focus on AEC and maybe connection design can be taken up sometime later?
No, connection design we already been doing for last 4 or 5 years. We already have a American professional engineer on board, 2 of them actually, and a team of 15-20 engineers working from India. But to make that connection design into member design and structure design, that is where we require a acquisition. So we are now opening our eyes towards architectural design also, apart from structural design. So that is where the difference is. Earlier we were only looking at structural designing firms. Now we are also opening up to architectural design firms, because they both deal directly with the general contractors. So access to general contractor enhances our value chain and our positioning in the project.
Sir, typically, are there firms which do both, or these would be 2 separate businesses itself?
No, they are generally 2 different businesses. Very few companies will have both structural designing and architectural. Bigger companies will have, but bigger companies may not be ready for an acquisition. So we have to look at a sweet spot of a architectural firm and a structural engineering firm, and then merge the whole team to work as a overall service provider. So as of today, the size where we are looking at, very rarely we find a combination. Generally we find either a structural engineering firm or an architectural firm. Combination in this size is rare.
Okay. And right now we are in a state that whichever suits our valuation and overall, whichever comes first, we are open to that rather than being very picky about whichever we want to do.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, one last thing, that when we look at AEC as a business, steel structural engineering is something where we were looking at it, we have some experience, at least from outside. But is the ability to adapt and basically backsource the work in India so that we have that cost advantage which we enjoy today, will that be possible in an AEC firm, or AEC operates in a different way? If you can give some more color into the opportunity size of the AEC firms. And
what AEC firm? What do you mean by AEC firm?
AEC, architectural engineering construction firms. You mentioned we are looking at AEC firms.
Okay. Architectural engineering service also in India have been, reasonably paid, but not as good as what you get in USA. And having a team in USA will help us to even attract big projects in India for architectural services. And in fact, architectural services are paid better than structural designing in India or detailing in India. So in case we make an acquisition of an architectural firm in USA, projects for Indian clients also can be taken. because there the
No.
price realization is better.
No, sir. What I was asking is that if we acquire something outside, then what we used to do earlier is that we used to get the client connects, we used to learn the business, but ultimately the back end of the work, we used to hire engineers in India who would do the typically outsourcing
Oh, you mean
model.
to say, can we outsource the work back to our Indian office?
Yes, exactly. That
Yes,
if we
yes,
even
part
if
of the work
we
can
have
be.
the front
There's
office.
a lot of 3D rendering, drafting support, changes in the final drawings. All this support can be done from India, which can be effectively like say 40 to 50% of what is needed for architectural services in USA. So that much 40 to 50% of the work can be outsourced.
Outsourced India.
Can
Got
be
it.
built up in
Got
India,
it.
from India.
Understood, sir. Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. As this is the last question, I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for the closing comments.
Thank you very much, Ganesh, and also thanks to all the participants who have actually participated in the conference call and evinced interest in our company's operations. I'm very confident that once we make a move towards acquisition, it will take us into a much higher orbit. However, we have been very careful and cautious about selecting the correct execution target. There are a couple of them which are under our scanner, but the moment it happens, we will certainly be informing through proper channels to all the investors and stock exchanges. And till then, thank you very much and goodbye. Have a nice day.
On behalf of Antique Stock Broking, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.